Hello and welcome back to the video on the rest of the way and to my predictions for AEW All Out 2022. And yeah, it's quite this crazy week of wrestling where we've got 3 pay-per-views taking place on one weekend. And yeah, this is arguably AEW's biggest pay-per-view of the year. And yeah, the card looks stacked as well. Can't wait for this one. Loads of basic matches coming up on this card. And so let's get straight into our predictions. We're going to start off with the TBS title match between Jade, Cargill and Athena. And for me, yeah, this is kind of a hard one to call, to be honest, because Jade Cargill, her reign so far has been brilliant. She just keeps on getting better and better against Athena, who is established before going to the company, and has done alright so far on AEW. And yeah, this is kind of like the next step for her. And yeah, it's a hard one to call for me because Cargill's reign's been so great and I want it to continue, but Athena, come on one of the AEW's biggest shows of the year, could really get the massive babyface win. But for me, I just don't see it happening. I think they'll continue with Cargill's reign for a bit longer. Moving on then to Ricky Starks as he takes on Powerhouse Hobbs, following the recent breakup of Team Taz. And yeah, this is an interesting one because Ricky Starks, for me, he's been doing really well since he became a babyface. Some really great matches, great promos, etc, etc. Powerhouse Hobbs, I like him as well. But yeah, for me, I think AEW's full focus at the moment is really behind Ricky Starks now, and having him as a solo babyface and giving him a bit of a push. So for me, yeah, I'm saying Starks for the victory here. Moving on then to another bit of a grudge match, Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. And yeah, obviously this has been brewing for months now, really. And yeah, I'm really happy we've got to this point because, they've been building up for so long, and yeah, the match just makes sense now. Some quite bitter build-up really as well, which I really enjoyed. I think it's added something extra to the card as well. So yeah, for me, I think it's really obvious that Christian here is put a Jungle Boy over, and that's exactly how it should be. So yeah, for me, I'm saying Jungle Boy for the top here. Moving on then to Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaims, and yeah, kind of maybe not like the match that we all wanted, Swerve in Our Glory versus FTR, Young Bucks versus FTR, etc, etc. But on the whole, the Acclaim have done really well. Swerve in Our Glory, yeah, they're quite over as well. So it does make sense, this one. And yeah, I think the Swerve in Our Glory will win, but the Acclaim will give them a really good match and really show what they can do. So yeah, I think Swerve in Our Glory will win, and then maybe they'll move on to FTR or something later down the line.
House of Black take on Darby Allin, Sting and Miro in a trios match. And yeah, for me this is actually quite a hard one to call because I like both these teams. House of Black obviously more established and can do a big win on pay-per-view, but then again you've got the star power of Sting and Miro and Darby Allin, who AEW seen quite high on all the time really. And yeah, but all of these people really could feel like they could do with a big win here. So yeah, this is a hard one to call, but I just feel like the star power of Sting, etc, etc, and a good finish to send the fans home happy. I think the babyface will get the win. On the 0 Hour pre-show, there's some big matches, including Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston, a rematch. And yeah, this is an interesting one because obviously we've had all of the Eddie Kingston stuff reportedly going on backstage, so maybe him losing here would be a bit of a punishment, but then at the same time, could that be what they want us to think? And then Kingston goes and gets a win. Could it possibly set up a feud with Sammy Guevara if they want to work together? Yeah, it's an intriguing one. I think Kingston will get the win here, but yeah, I do have a little bit of doubt in mind with everything that's gone on recently. Pac takes on Kip Sabian for the All Atlantic Championship, and yeah, this is a really good one, isn't it? Because Pac obviously hasn't really defended that title in AEW, and Kip Sabian's been gone for so long. He's been in the crowd all this time, and now he's coming back. And yeah, it's a hard one to call because Pac, first time he's defending it in AEW, you don't really see him losing the title here, but Kip Sabian, third match back in so long, I don't think they want him to come back with a loss. So yeah, it is quite a hard one to call, but I think Pac will get the win here. It should be an absolute banger. And hopefully still put Kip over in defeat really. So yeah, I'll say Pac for the dub. And yeah, the final match on the pre-show, Hook taking on Parker and Jeff for the FTW Championship. And yeah, I think this is probably one of the easiest matches on the card to call really. I think it's basically there just to put Hook over and give him another victory. And yeah, like I said, just continue putting him over as the FTW champion. I think that's all really what his reign at the moment is really doing. So yeah, I think this is pretty obvious one to call when it's going to be Hook getting the victory. And moving on then to Casino Ladder match, and yeah, it's looking like an absolute banger with some of the names in it. And yeah, for me it's kind of a hard one to call as well. First, starting off with Joker, I've been thinking long and hard about who this could be. I don't think it'll be MJF. I think they maybe bring him up slightly higher in the cards. Samoa Joe is coming back from a movie reportedly soon, which was done now. So yeah, I get the feeling it may be Samoa Joe coming as an entrant, and he could very well win and have Punk or Moxley versus him at Grand Slam, which would be a real star-making match. But yeah, at the same time, I think they could do a match maybe in the next few weeks on Dynamite, and give it to someone to give a major push. So yeah, it may be outlandish. I'm not sure if it will come off or not, but I'm going to say Wheeler Yuta. But yeah, for me this is a hard one to predict, but I just love to see Yuta challenging for the AEW World title, and he definitely deserves it.
Moving on then to Bryan Danielson versus the Lionheart, Chris Jericho. And yeah, I can't wait for this match. Obviously this match has all been around BCC versus JAS, Sports Entertainer versus Wrestler. And two established stars. We've seen them fight before, but you know exactly what they're going to get. Daniel Garcia in here also has a really interesting dimension. But I think Danielson coming back, neither of these men really need a win, do they? But I think Danielson coming back, probably have one in mind for him. And yeah, I can see Danielson picking up the W here. Moving on then to Toni Storm versus Dr. Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter versus Jade for the Women's Interim Title Championship. And yeah, for me, it's quite a hard one to call because they go for a heel champion like Britt Baker, with Thunder Rosa currently being the champion, or Hayter maybe putting her over. But yeah, for me, I think I'm going to go for Toni Storm here. The rumour was that she was going to win the belt off Thunder Rosa anyway. And yeah, it just feels like her time. She's been doing really well in AEW since she's come in. And yeah, having her pick a winner over established stars like they are in here would be great for her. Moving on then to Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns from Impact. And yeah, so great to see the Machine Guns here, and they're going to add so much to this match. But yeah, on the whole, it just looks like a banging trios match, really, doesn't it? Wardlow and Jay Lethal, though she's been interesting so far, and FTR, we know how great they are, as well as Motor City Machine Guns, so this is just a guaranteed banger. But yeah, I just think with the babyfaces, the role they've been on recently, for me, they've got to be favourites here, and I think they will be the ones picking up the dub.
The Elite take on the Dark Order in the final of the Trio tournament, and yeah, I cannot wait for this. Omega and the Young Bucks versus Hangman. Yeah, I think it's all been building up for this, and for me, holding off until Omega back for the Trio title has just been the right call, because all the storyline building up to this. Paige is going to go back into alliance with Omega. Yeah, who knows? It just created such an interesting dynamic, and I really can't wait for this. As the match itself, I think Omega and the Bucks will get the win. But yeah, for me, I think the more intrigue is what's going to happen with Hangman post-match or even during the match.
And in our main event, it is Jon Moxley versus CM Punk for the AEW World Championship. And yeah, this is such a hard one to call. No one saw what happened at Dynamite a few weeks ago, that where Moxley effectively squashed Punk. And yeah, this just makes it so hard to call this one. Will Moxley get the win? For me, I don't really want him losing so soon after that happening. Will Moxley go in the ring, go on a long title reign after beating Punk? I don't know, I just feel like it's going to be an absolute banger, brutal match, and I think Punk will get the win, mainly because I just see MJF returning at the end of this match. I think that's the way they're going to go, and it's going to lead to a massive Punk versus MJF feud over the winter, and yeah, it will be so hot. We saw what they could do the first time round, and the second time I'm convinced we'll be even better, so I think it's going to be an absolute banger of the match. I don't want Moxley to lose the belt, but I kind of feel like for the storyline it's going to be Punk who's going to pick up the W here.
Anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, make thoughts, comments down below, and follow us. Thanks for daily wrestling news, subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.